Mayor, what do you think about Evan Bayh running for governor? And I'm like, first off, I think that's insulting to hear that because the guy doesn't even live in Indiana. He lives in Maryland. It's like, listen, if you're going to ask me a question like, and I'm not talking to you, I'm just saying in general. If I'm going to get asked a question like that, why don't we just wait until the guy moves to Indiana first? Like, why are we talking about a guy that lives in Maryland? Could have easily moved back to Indiana if he wanted to, but chose not to. He chose instead to raise his family in Maryland. And we're talking about this guy running for Democratic nominee for governor. Like, really? I mean, we have so many good Democrats in Indiana. The people that could step up. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about a lot of people like me that could step up and do a great job. And still we're talking about like a ghost. Like, Evan will come in and save the day. Oh, gosh, I hope Evan moves back and saves us from purgatory. Part of the reason we're in purgatory is because he bailed out on us, Jim. That's part of the reason we have the problems we do today with the gerrymandered districts and the right to work. And every time we get screwed from the state, part of the reason that happens is because of Evan bailing out on us in 2010 and leaving us leaderless and penniless heading into the 2010 elections. So, like, I get asked, what do you think about Evan coming back and saving you, Mayor? Part of the reason I'm in the situation I'm in right now is because he bailed out on us in 2010. I think that shows poor leadership. I don't think we should ever talk about that guy taking over the party again. Personally, if he comes back, I won't support him in the primary. If he wins, God bless him. If Hoosier Democrats want to be treated like that and then have the guy come back in, God bless you. But I don't.
Wasn't he kind of your mentor for a long time?
Definitely was. When I first got in politics, he was a guy that could literally call me up and say, Mayor, you should think about supporting Hillary Clinton. I say, really? Barack Obama seems like he's going to do a good job. Well, you should think about supporting Hillary Clinton because I think that I have a chance to end up in the White House. And, Mayor, it would be good for Indiana if I was in the White House, so you should think about supporting Hillary Clinton. And I'd say, well, if Evan Bayh wants me to support Hillary Clinton, I'm going to support Hillary Clinton because he's the boss of the party. That's how it happened, Jim. By the way, I love the fact that I supported Hillary Clinton. It turned out obviously very good for me. I had a really good relationship, and I was an important part of her campaign. I got in because of Evan. That's the way it was. That's the way it is, like with Joe Donnelly, who is the leader of our party right now. If he asked me to do something, I would do it because it's like I look at it like an army. He's the general. I'm a lieutenant. He calls up and says, I need you to do this, Mayor. You're the boss of the party. If I'm blowing off a U.S. senator, what kind of person am I? I'm just a mayor.
Yeah, but you may not be blowing off a U.S. senator right now, but you're saying some words that are somewhat, not in support of a very powerful person right now.
He works for Fox News.
Well, Evan Bayh is still a very powerful person.
But he works for Fox News, and he lives in Maryland. And I'm being asked, would I support him to run for governor in Indiana? Like, he works for Fox News, and he lives in Maryland. And you're asking me to, like, overlook a lot of good people that could easily be a good governor. A lot of people in Indiana.
I mean, is that the message, that there's a lot of local people that...
There's a lot of people in general I think would do a better job than Evan Bayh. I personally think there's a lot of people I would support before him.
Okay, the reason is, what are your thoughts on your own possibilities as being governor?
I don't know. I think it's possible one day. I definitely do. I think that I have name recognition, particularly in the north, down to Marion County. I'm pretty strong. And then south of that, it would be a challenge for me, realistically. I mean, south of Indianapolis, nobody knows who I am. But I think that if John Gregg would have thought about picking me up on his ticket in 2012, it would have been a tougher ticket. No disrespect to Vi Simpson. I think she's great, too. But I was thinking, for geographical purposes, he would pick me up because he was strong in Marion County to the south, and I'm strong from Marion County to the north, and I thought that would have been I would have been open-minded to it. I'm not saying I would have taken it, but I was never asked. So
so transparency and in your face. I mean, can that play in southern Indiana or even central Indiana?
I would never do it different, Jim. If I was governor, I would be on JOB every Friday morning. As governor, it may be syndicated. I would definitely do a radio show every week like I do now. I think it's very effective, and it's scary because people could call in and criticize me. But at the same time, I think people that listen to the show regularly know that this is not scripted. This is not, if you don't like Tom McDermott, you could call in. I mean, we had Lefty call in every week for 2 months straight, and he's gone now. I think after a while, they just get bored with it. Lefty proved his point. Mayor McDermott takes every phone call, even from a guy like me that doesn't like him. I think it's effective, and if I were governor in a higher level position, I would definitely be on JOB on Friday mornings.
But I guess what I'm getting at is that it's not just being on WJOB, which of course is a big part, and we all know that a lot of people in Hammond are listening. But I think even in general, and when you're in the party meetings or you're out, talking to other media and so forth, I mean, you basically are carrying almost a hard-boiled. It's not something that folks necessarily do downstate.
True. I'm not like this everywhere, though. When I talk to reporters, I don't regulate my behavior. And when I'm in the air, I don't regulate my behavior. But the funny thing, and Jim, you know this, if you take me and plug me into a fundraiser, I don't change. I'm the same person. I'd like to think of myself as pretty consistent. Even if it's a reporter, even if it's the president of the United States, even if it's a U.S. senator, I'm pretty consistent. I don't like changing who I am. It was very important to me when I became mayor that I didn't want to change. I like who I am. I think I'm a nice person.
All right, so I'm guessing that if you were going to run for governor, and I'm not saying that you are, neither are you, that the big guns are going to come in and they're going to say, hey, maybe we got a chance here.
You got to change.
You got to tone it down.
I know. They're going to tell me that.
That's exactly what they're going to tell you.
And you know me, Jim. I don't like changing.
So there you go.
But I'll be honest with you. I'm going to say something that I've never said before. I think I'm going to run for mayor again. I love my job. I love the position I'm in. I have little kids. I have an 8-year-old. I love him, and he loves me. I want to coach him in baseball. I want to watch him grow up. Marissa and I chose to have a baby when we did, and he's 8 years old. If I run for governor, I'm not going to see him. I'm not going to be able to coach his baseball teams. I'm not going to be able to watch him grow up. And I'm not saying that's one reason that would keep me out. I'm just saying that's something that I have to consider because I have an 8-year-old boy that loves me and wants his dad to be around. As mayor, I could watch my kids grow up. And that's a very compelling reason to run for re-election, in my opinion.